So hi everyone, I'm Aiden. I have over 1,000 hours in this game, and most of those hours are on Vecna, which is this guy right here. He's from the D&D chapter. He's a licensed killer, so you do have to pay money for him. This is what he looks like. I think he looks pretty cool. He's one of the most unique killers in the game because he has a lot going on. He has items that survivors can get out of chests. He has 4 different abilities that you can use. You can use them in all different fun kind of ways. And I just want to go over some of the stuff you can do with him because I feel like there isn't really a thorough guide on him. And I feel comfortable as I played him enough talking about it. So the first thing you need to know is he is a regular killer. Like if I go here, let me pull up Vecna. He's got base movement speed, just 4.6 like everybody else, like most average killers. He's got a normal terror radius. So he's not very stealthy, and he's average height, but he's kind of tall. So you'll be able to see things. Not very stealthy though. He's purple, he's kind of tall. He has a terror radius, and the survivors have an ability to see you throughout the game, which I'll get into. When the match starts, when a Vecna is in play, every match will spawn these chests. And in D&D fashion, when you open them, your character rolls a d20 on your screen. So he just rolled a d20. He didn't roll very high because it's common. This is white. So that probably just gave him an item, like a common item. Probably not anything good, like like a 3/4 used flashlight. But these can be anything from half broken items to full items to, if you look on the left, of my friend's portrait here, you see how he has these glowing boots, and the boots image is now filled up. It's kind of like D&D and how you can equip equipment. That's kind of what it's mimicking. These give you little bonuses that help you against Vecna. Most of them are pretty negligible, but do help survivors. Like this one, I'm not exactly sure what this one is, but it's probably aura reading when I use one of my 4 abilities that I have pulled up here. So a lot of them just give you different little bonuses, like being able to see you when you cast abilities. There's one that makes you faster when I Mage Hand, which is this ability, which I'll talk about soon. It'll make you faster when I do that. There's another one that lets you see the abilities itself. You can see the sphere that I shoot out. You can see the skeletons. So it's just important to keep these in mind. That survivors with these items can see your abilities. But most importantly, they're going to see you a lot. Most of them give aura read, which isn't impactful chase-wise too much, but it is impactful when you're trying to sneak up on people. They're just going to know where you are. So you want to keep that in mind. The 2 biggest items, though, is if our survivor friend here rolls a 20, which is like a critical success in D&D. That means you get a legendary item, which is either the hand or the eye. Now, the hand is a little bit better. Both of these items you would equip to your character. So if my friend Peter here rolled it, he would equip it, and then they both interact with lockers. So the next time, he's going to see if he can get it here. The next time he would get into... Oh, I forgot to mention this. This is a trap chest. So now anytime anyone opens this, it's trapped. He has to hit some skill checks or else he'll get injured. He did hit them, so good job. Well done. But now anytime anyone opens this, they will get trapped like that. And it'll hold them in place for a little bit. So that happens if they roll a 1. So that's something that can happen. There's add-ons that can increase that. But back to the 2 important ones, are the eye and the hand. The eye lets you fast vault into a locker, and then when you fast vault out, you become broken, but you'll become invisible and have haste. So that one's good if you have distance on the killer. You can hop into a locker, hop out, and then you're invisible and you can get away. Or if you need to go for a save, looking for hatch, it's good. But the only problem is when you do it, you become broken, and that's true for the hand as well. So with the hand, you hop into a locker, you hop out, and you'll teleport in a radius around where you are to a random other locker. This one is much stronger and one you need to be aware of. You'll see it on the survivor HUD to the left. It'll be above their items, and you want to be aware of what items they have, because you'll want to play around it. So for example, if somebody has hand and somebody doesn't have the hand and it's late game, I want to chase the person who has the hand so that the other person can't get hatches easily. It's just stuff like that. It sounds complicated. You will get used to it with time. It's also nice because it just helps you see the survivor better, like just having the white boots. But yeah, that is the item system. And with that, we'll go into our first ability. So Vecna, being a spellcaster, he pulls up his ability thing with the left bumper on console. And you can swap between with your stick or with your mouse on mouse and keyboard between these spells. And the bottom one is the first one we're going to talk about. This is Dispelling Sphere. So what this one does is it shoots a giant orb out that goes in a straight line, and any survivor hit, it'll give you this killer instinct, this red detection, and that'll go through walls, it'll go through lockers, etc. Not only that, you see how he has the purple effect on him on the left at his portrait. It means he is silenced, so his whatever effect his items have, besides the legendary ones do not get silenced, but the non-legendary items that are the gauntlets and the boots that he has no longer work. So yeah, they no longer work, correct. So if the boots, like he would see the skeletons, he doesn't see these anymore, which is nice. Or he doesn't see me when he casts them. What is this good for? This is really good for buildings, searching generators, and hitting. You really want to use it when you're hitting multiple floors. So for example, this would be a great spot to use it. I can hit this floor, I hit the upstairs floor, I hit that gen, and this gen. It's just a general information tool. It slows you down a little bit. All of these slows you down a little bit when you cast them. But yeah, it just moves in a straight line. Another niche thing you can use it for is for people in lockers. Say you know somebody went in one of these two lockers and you don't know which one, and they might have head on. You can actually sphere and it'll just tell you. The other thing is, say I have Peter on the ground at this pallet and I'm scared somebody's going to come and save. I can Dispelling Sphere this whole area and I'll just basically get an instant AoE, an instant giant circle right around here. Yeah, so he's in the locker, I shoot it, look, I know he's in that one. And you saw how the AoE instantly appeared around me. I would know if there's somebody on the other side of this wall going to save. Okay, so that's probably, honestly, probably the easiest ability to explain. The next ability, I'm going to go to the top one, his fly. Is his fly. Jesus, I just said that. What this allows you to do is it just gives you a bunch of movement speed. So if I want to go from point A to point B, I pull a fly, I use it, and I just get haste, but I can't really hit anything. It's important to note I can go over windows and drop pallets with this. But the moment I do that, it takes me out. You have to be cautious when using it over windows and pallets. If you use it over a window or pallet, the survivor, if they're smart, will just sit at the window and they have time to revolt just about every time, unless you're running specific add-ons. That can kind of make it riskier for them to do that, but I still think it's guaranteed if they time it right. The other thing about fly and just all the spells in general, but it's especially important with this one, every spell has a pull-up animation. So look, Mage Hand looks like this. When I pull up fly, I do this with my hands. When I pull up skeletons, I do this. So survivors always know, if they see you, what spell you're using. And the thing is with fly is you can actually use that to zone. So say Peter was right here at this snow pile, and I wanted to cut him off. Here, wait, come down here, Peter. So say I wanted to cut him off to the pallet, but I didn't actually want to use fly. I could fake it, so that way when he runs, he might go, oh, he's going to fly and body block me. I should go somewhere else. So I could fake it. He moves. He passed somewhere else, hopefully not into me, and then I could get a hit that way. So it's important. You'll see a lot of Vecnas in open space. Say there's a resource, they'll fake this fly and they'll kind of get people to zone themselves. The fly is very good for mobility. Basically, anytime you hook somebody, you're going to have it up. And if you have something like barbecue, you can see where to go. But it's also good against god windows and strong windows that have drops, or god pallets. Because if they drop a god pallet and they walk away from it, you can actually vault it and chase them. So for example, if Peter vaulted this window over here, I could fly after him and drop down and get a hit. Let's see if I can show that real quick. So he does this, I fly over it, I drop down, and look, I'm right here. Especially with the drop down lag the survivor faces, that's a hit every time. So that's fly, it's a mobility tool. You can also do mind games where, like, say the survivor's going towards this window. I could fly, fake like I'm going to vault it, so they go this way, and then I actually fly in this direction and I cut them off. That's some of the things you can do with fly. Those two abilities are actually the easiest. The next one is the skeletons. Now this one, it seems basic at first. You pull up this, it gives you a bunch of different trajectory things. I just show you where they're going to go. When you click it, it takes a second to spawn, and then they go in a straight line. But the thing is, these can be crouched. So if the survivor crouches and you're on even ground, they will avoid it every time. So things you can do with them is, one, they're a zoning tool. Most of the time, if the survivor knows what they're doing, they're going to crouch every time when they hear that sound. So what you can do is, if, say, he was running this way towards this loop, I could just shoot all of them towards here. So he either has to crouch right here or path this way where there's nothing, and I can get a hit. So you can use it zoning wise. You can also use it on survivors while they're in an animation. So if a survivor's dropping a pallet or vaulting a window, if I send the skeletons, they can't crouch during that. So see, he dropped the pallet, they spawn on him. Obviously, he wouldn't just stand there and look at me and then drop the pallet. He would, you know, we would be running this loop, and I would time it in a way where, you know, I'd hit him when he drops it. The other important thing that good Vecnas will do is they will take advantage of level changes. So you can't crouch it, but if I have a level change, and then I do this, well, he can't avoid that. He's going to get hit every time. So you always want to take it, always want to track where these are, and you can use them to your advantage. Now, a lot of survivors will be very aware of the level changes. The advanced survivors will be very aware. So what they will do is you can kind of make them path awkwardly, where if I pulled up skeletons and, like, he wants to go to this TL, I can fake it. He runs, you know, somewhere else, and then he paths awkwardly because he's scared I'm going to shoot at the window, and then I get an M1. So it's a lot of mind games. Vecna is very much M1-y at its core, but he has a ton of mind games in his toolkit because of fly, because of skeletons. But most of all, the biggest mind game and the strongest tool is his Mage Hand. Mage Hand is his best ability. It has the longest cooldown out of all of them. Mage Hand is, I believe, 40 seconds. This is 25 fly. And then the other two are 38. Mage Hand allows you to, if the pallet's upright, I can hold it, and then he cannot drop this. No, he can't. That allows you, for example, around this loop, if I held this pallet, he probably wouldn't make it around. But if the pallet's down and I use Mage Hand, Vecna, after like a brief little moment, picks up the pallet. Now, picking up this pallet is useless because it's a short enough loop that he would make it around, right? But against stronger pallets and pallets with longer walls, it can get you hits. But I'll show you what this looks like. So I'm chasing him. Okay, he's gonna vault, and I pick this up. I can get a hit. He could probably make this around if he had a little bit of distance on me. But yeah, a lot of Vecna is just combining all of these skill sets and abilities to mind game survivors out of pallets. Another thing you can do You can also hit skeletons while you drop down. I forgot to mention this. So if I did something like this, I know he's at this pallet. You can't dodge that because it's low profile. You can use drop downs very grossly like that. But yeah, that's basically all of his abilities. The other thing I need to mention about Mage Hand is faking. So it's kind of like Doctor Shock in a sense that you want to fake it and know when you have enough distance to use it, etc. So let me see if I can find a pallet. The down. I want to look for an upright one. Maybe this way. Ah shit! I forgot to mention. I'll mention it at the perk. Yeah. So if he has distance, right, and I'm running this, I shouldn't use it. I should fake it because he's gonna greed. Oh, that. No, don't escape. So if I fake it, I gain distance. Then I can do it again. If he drops it, it picks up. If not, it holds it. But it's important to remember with Mage Hand, the hand has to be touching the pallet for them to not be able to drop it. So you can use Mage Hand, and they can still drop it right on your face if you don't time it right. So that's why when you are picking up a pallet or holding it, always make sure you're properly spaced, and you'll learn your spacing. So when you combine these tools in a chase, you can really like zone survivors and put them in really tough situations that are in your favor. The only problem is they are on a cooldown. So yeah, that's a basic Vecna overview of all of his abilities and how you should use them. I'm gonna go into his add-ons and his perks and explain some of those. So, you like Vecna's all of his abilities. You want to know, okay, I like Vecna, but with any killer, there's a ton of add-ons, there's a ton of perks. Like, what do you recommend? What should I be using? What's good on him? What's not? Etc. Number one thing I will say on Vecna is add-on wise, cooldown is absolutely king. The more often you have your Mage Hand up, the more often you have fly up, more often you have skeletons, more often you're going to zone and you're going to get hits. It's just how it works. It's not 100% the best way to play him, like guaranteed. I think it's the best way, but you could argue optimizing for other things is. The add-ons you want to look at are the Pearl of Power, which just reduces cooldown when you land a basic attack, which you do all the time. And the Ring of Spell Storing, which just reduces by 2. These are the add-ons I always run. They feel super cozy. I recommend running at least one of these. But you don't have to. Vecna has nice add-on variety, so you don't. It's not like these are like necessary to play. You can totally run other ones. For example, a lot of people like to optimize the fly ability with this add-on that decreases your cooldown from attacking, so you can attack faster at a fly, and fly lasts for an additional half second, which you would think doesn't matter, but you have to remember you can run haste perks on Vecna, and haste perks on Vecna with a character who has one mobility tool that really stacks with haste, which is fly, and he just needs haste in general because otherwise he's just a walking around M1 killer with some close range abilities. Optimizing fly and haste means you will fly around the map. You will fly around the map if you run rapid. Brutality, this is a very popular perk on him because he hits a lot of M1s. He's an M1 killer. M1 meaning he uses his basic attack, his mouse 1. Rapid Brutality is great on him. Another one, Devour Hope, is good because not only do you get the haste after the hooks, which you can combine with barbecue, you can fly away, you get the haste, but also he really thrives off one-hit downs because he's always basic attacking. The other perk that people run is Furtive Chase. This one gives you haste and undetectable, which will protect you from all the aura reading that survivors get from their items. It'll give you haste after you after you hook the obsession, and then the obsession will change. This is huge. You will fly if you really try this out. You can pair this with something. This is a common build I see all the time. With friends till the end. Let me just put that in. Friends till the end. When you hook a survivor, it kind of gives you a barbecue on the obsession, and you'll be switching the obsession with this. And then they're insta-downable, and you will get there fast as hell and undetectable with this, with fly. And then you have Mage hand and stuff to secure the M1 for the expose. It's a very powerful build. And then you can slap Surge in here. This is moving into slowdown options now. Surge is super strong on Vecna. He's always M1ing. He's always downing with his M1. And Surge, he's very efficient if he's able to get to survivors quickly enough. And Surge is just going to give you value if you run it on him. But this is more optimized for fly. Like I said, with the add-ons I like, which are the cooldown ones, I like a build like this. That does a little bit of everything. You have Surge and Grim for slowdown. This gets the gens that you're just not going to get to. This gets the gens that you are going to get to. And this just allows you to keep pressure up all the time. Oh, whoops. That's the add-on we want. This barbecue and lethal just allows you to keep pressure constantly and see where survivors are moving, because the worst thing is if you pop fly, you fly somewhere, they hide from you, and you wasted your only mobility cooldown, and now you have to M1 walk all the way across the map to find somebody. You don't want that. So barbecue is very good. Lethal is very good, especially because fly comes off cooldown when you spawn pretty quick. This is the build I personally play with. The offering could be whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. But this is the build I like the most. As far as the things other people run, other add-on combos that are good, a lot of people really like this Eerie add-on. It gives you BAM on your flies, which is actually nasty because Vecna's biggest weakness is windows and distance. And getting rid of windows and making your fly better makes it so chases are going to go so much quicker. It can actually be so mean, especially in places like Shack. Okay, I fly through the window, you're going to go to the God pallet. If you see that it's blocked, and I pick that up. Like, it turns really strong window pallet combinations into nothing. But the thing that people actually really play this for is the second effect. It lowers the number of skeletons you have by 3, so you have to be very good at aiming with this. Again, they have some startup, and you have to be very good at predicting to use this, but it makes them fly low to the ground, so they can't be crouched. So if you're good at zoning, you play artist or something, put this add-on on. It is mean. It is very mean if you practice with it. I've used it a couple times. It's just not my playstyle. I like to play killers like vanilla with some buffs, like cooldown, you know. But that's just me. Other than that, some of the add-ons he's got, if you're worried about the magic items, this add-on's actually pretty okay. It reduces the chests that are good on the map by 2. So 2 of the chests are trap chests, guaranteed. That can be fun and good if you're not running. Say you want to take lethal off. Well, you run this. If a survivor opens a chest at the start of the match, guess what? You know where they are. So you don't need lethal. You can just run this. But they have to open chests. You have to be worried about items. And they get oblivious, so they won't hear you. But that part's pretty negligible because if they're opening a chest, they're going to see your aura. So the invisibility cloak. This perk or this add-on is terrible. Do not run this. You never want all of your cooldowns gone, because then you're in M1 mode, and then being undetectable is not. That's not. If you used all of your cooldowns, the person should be on the ground. So when you use this, you're probably when this activates, you're probably picking up. So not the best. It can be kind of memey, you know, you can, I don't know, use all your cooldowns, fly somewhere, maybe sneak up on somebody. It helps against the aura read, I guess. This one is just the sloppy butcher add-on every killer gets. It gives hemorrhage and mangle, not bad. You don't really want to be hitting and leaving people though as this killer because he just doesn't have mobility to pressure the map. So that's why I don't really run this one. But it's always an upside. This one is actually slept on. This one can be used as an information tool. You can pair it with lethal as well. It reveals auras every time you cast a spell if they're near a chest. And 6 meters is bigger than you think it is, and there's a lot of fucking chests on the map, I promise you. So, you use this, you will see survivors, you will get value. It's just, it's not going to win you the game, you know, 9 times. It's just going to be nice, right? This, Boots of Speed, there is a survivor item that gives the survivor haste when the mage hand is cast. That one is probably one of the meanest, is the meanest besides the legendaries. This just counters that, and it's a nice little boost. It's pretty negligible though. 9 times out of 10, you're either gonna get the you will not get the hit because of this. You'll get to hit because you played it right. This one is bad because they see your aura when you fly with common items, so don't use this. This one is pretty bad too. The number of entities, if you're running the other add-on, I guess it can like kind of stack with that, but I would only pair it with the book. Talked about this one. Dispelling Sphere causing exhausted. This one's actually okay. It's not amazing, but if you get somewhere, and say like everyone's trying to finish the last gen at Shuck, you can shoot Dispelling and everyone's exhausted. So no dead hard, no adrenaline speed boost, none of that. And it's a big ass AoE the moment you shoot it. So it's 20 seconds is not much. Most of the time this isn't going to do anything, but I would actually recommend this over some of these other ones. Increases the size of the Dispelling Sphere by 2 meters and movement speed. I actually don't like this one. It's just really a matter of preference. Because it moves slow, you can catch people moving in and out of rooms, near your space for a save. The fact that it moves fast, it can catch, it's more likely to get people on a gen. But I like the Dispelling Sphere to catch people near me, so that doesn't exactly help. Reveals auras of survivors narrowly missed by Flight of the Damned. This one's okay. It's like, it's nice to see, like, say you want to shoot Flight of the Damned through a wall. You'll zone somebody, and then they will, maybe they'll crouch it, and then they'll try and mind game you. You can see that, but it's kind of whatever, to be honest. We talked about the fly one. We talked about this one. This is the worst add-on actually. Increases vault speed for 10% after casting Mage Hand only on an upright pallet. So if you hold a pallet so they can't drop it, and they make a window, you get vault speed, which okay, that's nice. But that's probably not going to get you a hit. That's a very specific setup. Just forget about that one. The Killer Instinct lasts longer. That's nice. The reason this one's actually not the worst thing ever is for hitting skulls. So if you dispel an area and they run, they're running on check, and you can see that they're holding a corner while you pull up your skulls, which is nice. This add-on's actually not bad. This one, it's okay, but distance on the skulls don't really help you because they spread out so much. So the further they go, the even more the shotgun spread happens. So this one doesn't help you. This one's actually okay, because it just messes with survivors who are advanced and really know the Mage Hand timing. This will trick them up, and cause sometimes they'll stand in front of a pallet, being like, "Oh, I can drop this," and they can't. So this one's actually okay. This is probably my favorite brown. This one's probably the best one. But yeah, those are his add-ons. As far as other perks that I didn't cover to run on him, just generally, any M1 perk is good. So Surge, Rapid, very solid on him. Would recommend those. He really relies on snowballing early and getting pressure early. So I do like Corrupt and Lethal. I recommend those. Any perk that gives you Expose, like Friends to the End and Noed, are very strong on him. The reason is usually when you get, sometimes you'll get a hit against really good survivors and your movement speed will be down, or your movement ability will be down. And so in endgame, the difference between having a 1-hit chase and a 2-hit chase is everything, especially when you have zoning tools. Because Mage Hand and Skulls are going to make you zone. They might be like, oh, I can take 1 hit. And you're going to make them take a hit, and then they'll use that boost to get to gate, and you're never going to catch anybody with this character going to gate. So the instant down perks are very powerful endgame, and just generally they just make chases go quicker. He has a lot of tools that can just punish really big mistakes. So if you like characters with multiple abilities that take some mind gaming, some thinking, some M1 gameplay, that like to play close range, might lack some map pressure but make up for it, and versatility, I think Vecna is definitely the character to play.